Hi guys, I'm Kristian Nudlash, and today I will be talking about my summer internship, active solar cooling for root cellars. Here is a brief overview of my presentation. Okay, so with Alaskan summers becoming both longer and hotter, farmers are having difficulty storing their vegetables in root cellars come fall time. This project aims to provide an off-grid solution for that using a heat pump powered directly by solar panels. Here is a picture of the system or a diagram. We had 5 300-watt solar panels wired directly to a heat pump, which would cool down a root cellar. And the secondary component of the system was a CoolBot and a current transformer to monitor the data. Both of these were powered by a battery, which was charged by a much smaller solar panel. CoolBot has a heating element, which was placed next to the temperature sensing probe of the heat pump to make it cool down lower than it should because it thinks the room is hotter than it really is. My goals for this project in chronological order were to design and build a mount for the panels, ensure that the system was running properly, that all the components were working the way that they should. And then I collected test data, which would eventually lead us into field deployment where there would be continual data collection. And we would use that collected data to determine the feasibility of the system in this application and others. So to start off my research, I looked to see if there were any similar projects that were done and into DIY solar mounts. With similar projects, I found people were looking into alternative methods for cooling root cellars, but I wasn't able to find anybody using a heat pump powered strictly by solar panels. I found that people were using a similar CoolBot setup with AC units, but that was hooked up directly to AC power. And then after that, I had to look at the individual system components, the heat pump, the CoolBot, and the current transformer. The current transformer is what was used for data collection. So the key challenges I encountered during this project was using equipment with very limited documentation. The current transformer specifically, aside from the product information page from the Italian manufacturer's website and people selling the device, I couldn't find anything about the device on the internet. And then the other issue was finding an HVAC professional to install the heat pump. Because of this issue, the system was sadly not installed. We did put
Yet.
Yeah, it will be installed once we are able to contact the HVAC professional and set up a time to install the heat pump. The picture on the right-hand side of this is from this last Friday, where we were able to successfully install the 5 solar panels onto the roof of the shed. So unfortunately, my mount will have to be repurposed for another solar ACEP project. My advice for whoever is going to be continuing this, Cam, yeah, I think that they should do research about each individual device because they all have their own little quirks.
Thank you.
And so now that my internship is ending, I want to talk about some of my favorite and least favorite parts of this project. My least favorite part was that I felt helpless with the current transformer. I had to get Cam, one of the Anchorage ACEP employees, to write a script, which was put onto a Raspberry Pi to record the data from the current transformer. The current transformer claimed it had a data storage method, but we couldn't find a way to access it. So this was the solution that Cam came up with. My favorite part of the project was that it had a balance of office work, such as researching the components of the system or doing calculations to make sure the power from the panels would be sufficient to power the heat pump. And then also the hands-on work, like building the mount or installing the panels out on site with the farmer. And also the coworkers here at the ACEP Anchorage office. Some of the successes that I've had, the things I'm proud of, are the cool mount that I made. I was able to teach myself some very basic CAD skills, and I'm happy that we were able to successfully install these solar panels. And like I said before, although I'm sad that we were not able to fully install the system before my time was over, I'm very excited to see where this project goes. Here's a picture of the mount, RIP. It's very nice. Very nice. And with that, I will open floor up for questions.
All right, I got a question. What is a CoolBot?
So it is a very small device with a heating element, and the heating element is placed next to the temperature sensing probe of the heat pump. And that heating element makes the heat pump read a higher temperature than the room is, which makes it keep on cooling because it's reading a higher temperature than the room.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So I didn't get why you had to repurpose your mount. Why did they put them on the roof instead of on your mount?
It just made more sense with the site because we originally were working with a different farmer, and we ended up getting a new volunteer
Okay,
to host the system.
so it's a different configuration.
It was
Yeah.
their request.
Okay.
They didn't want to hit into the ground mount with a tractor, and they have really high winds on their site.
Okay,
So they
Yeah.
didn't want to.
And it was like slightly closer to the cellar, so a little bit less of a wire run. It's out of the way. It just made more sense.
well, it was a lovely mount.
Thank you.
Any questions from Fairbanks? All right.